Well, let's just take a look at how the Kenyan market has fared for this Tuesday trading session, and that, of course, is the shilling there. You're seeing certainly a slight rebound in the shilling, but hasn't managed to recover to its early May levels, sitting at 85.1 against the US dollar as it stands this hour. And just looking at some of the movements that we have seen on the market, certainly has been a bit of a quiet day today, but you are seeing some activity around Centum investments with speculation on those results. But let's just delve into the equity market now and what we've seen for this Tuesday's session. We've got Kamati Akau, independent analyst at our Nairobi studio, standing by. Kamati, thanks for your time today. So you are seeing, I suppose, a bit of a slowdown in activity levels as of late in the market. But just run us through what's caught your eye when it comes to some of the movements we see as we start out this new trading month.
Yes, it has been a pretty slow day as far as market activity is concerned. Not too much corporate news coming out, but the market really just closing very flat on the day. Nonetheless, we've had quite a number of companies actually trading at very close to their 12-month highs. We have the likes of NSE Bank, Equity Bank, Housing Finance, Kakuzi, to mention just but a few. So there's still a lot of very positive and bullish attitude on the market, and we hope that that will continue in the weeks ahead.
Mm-hmm. So stocks, certainly certain stocks are holding on to 12-month highs, and the market has had, you'd call it a bull run so far this year. But do you still see specific stocks that you would consider growth stocks even at these levels?
Yes, indeed. I think all in all, the market is pretty fairly valued at the levels that we have. We're just seeing, we keep seeing some pullback every time we hit that 5,000 mark level as far as the NSE 20 share index is concerned. So we've seen that once again come in over the past few days. But we're still seeing a lot of potential for growth, and several companies, especially those in the construction sector, we still can see some positive growth expected to come in from the likes of Crown Badger, from also other more mid-cap companies, that is in the banking sector, for example, NIC, and in the investment sector, where a lot of speculation currently on the markets, especially regarding Centum, like you mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just looking at that stock where it's been trading, it's 23, 24 shillings right now, and certainly some interest and buying last week. But they've made some acquisitions. They bought the company Platt Corp. What are your expectations in terms of that specific acquisition right now, what it means for Centum going forward?
Yes, that is going to increase Centum's exposure, especially as the financial services market is concerned. Platt Corp does a lot of lending, especially to the mid-tier of the market that is seems to be unbanked. So that will increase Centum's exposure. And that aside, really, we've actually seen a lot of news that Centum is really taking great strides in as far as its realignment is concerned towards the three key market segments that it has chosen to play in, that is the real estate most especially. And we've just seen them that they've obtained some approval from the CMA to go ahead and actually pretty much spin off a company off and have that run with the asset management arm of Centum. So we expect that going forward we'll see a lot more plays as far as financial subsector is concerned for Centum, and that will ultimately increase its exposure and try to bring up a more of a better placed portfolio, because we see a lot of exposure currently on the real estate side for Centum. Yeah.
What's your sense as to how the new asset management arm is going to be placed in the Kenyan and East African region right now? I mean, how competitive is it? Is there space for another player?
Yes, it is, and Centum actually absolutely fits the bill. Keep in mind that we have seen the team grow over the past several years. They've been able to retain top management talent, and they have been able to excite a lot of foreign investor participation in this particular counter. So we see that the learnings over time that Centum has had over the past 45-year history since it was set up, we hope that that will continue, and that will continue to spur the company forward But a lot of opportunities for Centum, especially on the financial market side, because we're seeing a lot of foreign investors trying to come into the local market, actually the East African market, and they're all asking for who actually is the best placed money manager or who's the best placed investment firm to actually assist them in getting a foothold on the Eastern African markets. And Centum absolutely fits the bill, and it's absolutely no surprise that they have gotten this CMA license to go ahead and develop this asset management arm that they're putting out.
Yeah, certainly is just an indication of interest in the market right now, and where the market is headed. Let's talk about building and construction, because as I said earlier, you're also starting to see investor interest, renewed investor interest in this specific sector. What are your thoughts right now on the construction space and pricing holding up in the construction space? Because it's becoming a little bit more competitive, but of course there's a lot of construction going up. I mean, what are the dynamics that you see playing out?
Yes, the construction space has had quite a bullish run over the past, especially 3 years. But I personally continue to see a lot of growth in that particular segment, in part because of the very dynamic population that we have. We have a lot of first-time home buyers that really actually need to go out and rent properties or to go out and buy their first houses. So we see that the population is actually very on the side as far as increasing and calling for a lot of construction is concerned. So we have several counters that are expected to benefit from that, the likes of Athi River Mining, Bamburi, and Crown Baja. These are actually companies that are expected to continue benefiting quite a bit from not only the Kenyan, but actually the more regional plays. One of the more interesting statistics is that much as we may think that the Kenyan housing market is overpriced, if we look across the borders, you look at, for example, Rwanda, putting up construction there is far much more expensive than it is in Kenya, because a lot of the equipment is imported. So and that one of the source markets is actually Kenya. So a lot of growth expected, not only on the Kenyan side, but on the Eastern African side as a whole, also as more investors come into the market space.